If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement. Gamble responsibly.
Round 22 is upon us and we cannot wait. Welcome back to another edition of the Same Game Multi-Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us today. It's just the two of us kicking off the show, Mr. Matthew Mark Cherry and myself. The Burt Man will be along shortly. He's just a bit tied up at the moment, so it's kind of his kink apparently. But mate, to help us through the first part of our show, we're going to welcome in our man north of the border, and that is Tristan Merlehan, the CEO of topsport.com.au, and he joins us on the phone now. G'day, Tristan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, g'day, boys. How are you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Not too bad. Not too bad. We've recovered a little bit from Sunday, which yourself knows the reason why, and we will sort of divulge that information to our listeners a bit later on in the show. But anyway, we've recovered. Just still got the taste of tinea in my mouth, but anyway, not to worry. How's the week been, mate?
Yeah, been good, and yeah, good to see you pay up on your debt. So very good about that. And it's been a good start of the week. There's plenty happening up here. Getting some good footy over the next month as well. There's plenty of games, as we'll touch on today, that have very important ramifications for the finals. It's always exciting when this time of the year rolls around.
100%. Now, we usually do our top that moment of the round with you, but we're saving that for when the Burtman does join us, because we've got a little something special up our sleeve for him. So we'll just skip that this week. Mate, but I hear yourself, you've been up at the Ekka up there and trying to avoid a few of the scary rides. Any truth?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I was very nervous about getting on one of the rides. My daughter was trying to be the big girl in front of her little sister, and then we bought the tickets for that, and then as she got two from the front, she capitulated like her old man does a lot, and decided she didn't want to get on. So I was very, very happy with the outcome of that.
I don't blame you, mate.
Yeah, no, definitely. Can't trust those carnies, that's for sure. Do they have any teeth? Do they still have teeth these days, or?
I don't know what they got, but they make a bit of cash out of it. There's plenty of cash flying around up there.
I wonder what's going to happen to them when we go cashless, because they're going to have to declare everything then, won't they? Anyway,
yeah.
Let's get back on track, mate. As you said, a few big games this weekend, but before we do touch on them, you want to give us an update on the top 4 and top 8 market and how that looks leading into round 22?
Yeah, so looking at the top 8, we're pretty locked in, I would suggest. We got the Broncos 103, Para 103, South 103, Sydney 110. Now, the shortest of the other teams are Canberra. So you're looking at Canberra probably need to win out and then hope for a little bit of luck. But at the moment there, and then you got Manly at 16 and the Dragons at 30-1, both very, very rough. But you never know. It's been such an up and down season. If Canberra can get on a run and one of the other sides drop a game or two, then obviously they do play each other. So that's going to be interesting. And then the top 4 is the one that I find fascinating. We've really got one spot left up for grabs. Penrith off the board. You got Cronulla and Cowboys both 101. And then from there, you got the Storm at $2, the Eels at $3.10, the South Sydney Rabbitohs at $3.80, and Brisbane at $6.50 with the Roosters at $15. I think the value in this market would appear to be South. They've got a game against the Eels, who are that just above them in the betting. So if you think South can get the result this weekend, they'll firm up significantly, and they've got one of those draws where they've got a tricky run, but I think every game's winnable. So if they can get on a run this week, then have something at that $3.80, I'd suggest.
Yeah, not a bad price there. And we're just as you said that, mate, the Burtman's just entered the building.
Boys, how are we? Afternoon, mate. Good.
Nice, memorable
Yeah, mate.
entrance, mate.
Hey, that's it, mate. Just surprise entry, mate. Just thought I'd turn up when I want.
Kicked off a little bit early, but that's all right. We just went through the top 4 and top 8 market with Tristo. Just had a look at a bit of value there. So let's hit a few games this week, mate, and then we might do our top that moment after we do that. First up, though, Thursday night, massive clash up against between the Panthers up against the Storm. This one being played out at Penrith Stadium. A few words between the two clubs during the week. How's the market looking for this one, mate?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're missing a number of the stars out of this game, and this game's very important for that top 4. Where Melbourne's $2 to make the top 4, if they can win this game, they'll be in a good spot there. But if they don't, then the pressure's going to come on them. It's $1.57 Penrith at home, $2.45 Melbourne, and the line is 4.5. We're $1.80 the plus, $2 the minus. So Penrith are favourite, but I'm just a little bit worried about how they're going to go without James Fisher-Harris. I know how much has been made about Cleary and Luai, but I think he's a really important cog in their wheel. Obviously, no Jerome Hughes for the Storm as well. It's an important game, but with Penrith probably having their minor premiership wrapped up, $1.57 just does seem a little bit short.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there with Fisher-Harris. He's the real impact powerhouse for that side, isn't he? I think they'll be missing him big time to make those metres straight up the guts.
I think Kickout's still out too, I think. Is he?
Well, he's on the extended bench, so keep an eye on that. If he comes back in, that probably does negate the loss of Fisher-Harris a little bit, albeit they are different players.
Yeah, true. Also, mate, just want to touch on Parramatta Eels up against South Sydney Rabbitohs. A couple of teams both in good form at the moment going into this clash.
Yeah, definitely.
Who are the punters liking?
Yeah, the punters have been all over the bunnies. They've been back from 3.5 to 4.5, $1.60 into $1.53. The Eels out to $2.50 at the head-to-head. 4.5 is that line at the moment. So this game is massively important for the top four. I'd suggest whichever side loses this are probably out of the running for that top four spot. So it's a really important game. And I just feel the bunnies are just warming into a little bit of form. If you like the bunnies in this game, this is such an important match for so many reasons going forward. I think the $13 about them winning the comp might not be the worst play if you like the bunnies in this match, which I certainly do.
13, I think Birdo got on when they were 15, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, mate, got 15s. Yeah.
Nice dollars.
Yeah, good. It was as soon as Trell was back starting to play a bit of football and it was starting to click is when I got on.
Yeah.
Smart man. All right, Tristo, another this game should be a cracker, mate. The Chooks versus the Cowboys. Probably a very important game, not so much for the Cows, but for the Roosters. I think this will be the benchmark game for them to finish off the season. They've got a pretty hard run over the next few weeks. They're playing some quality sides. They do have the Tigers in that mix, though, so we should get over them. But if we do lose to, say, the Cowboys this week, and I think we still have, it's South and Melbourne as well. So I think the Chooks really need to come out and fire hard in this one. Mate, I noticed that the Chooks are favourites for this too.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's just the Chooks have been in really good form, obviously winning well over the last month or so, and I agree, it's a massively important game because they have got a tough run home. They have been playing very, very good football. I think it's just as important for the Cowboys too because there's such an advantage if they were to finish second instead of third because then they can dodge Penrith through to the grand final. So I think with Cronulla closing fast, the Cowboys will really be up for this game as well. But it's $1.62 the Roosters, $2.30 the Cowboys, and the line's 3.5. I think this is going to just put a line in the sand on where both of these teams sit. The Cowboys have been written off, well, not written off, but they just continually be underestimated, and the Roosters are in fantastic form as well. But I think we'll know where both of these teams sit after this game and what the chances of them progressing deep into the finals are.
I just hope both teams play some good footy too. It'd be really good to see what the finals have in store for us running off these sort of games. It's always a bit of a disappointment when you get two good sides and one of them sort of a gear less than the other side and don't really turn up. So hopefully this one's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Mate, we were going to touch on another game, but we might skip that and do our top that moment of the round, seeing we've got the whole crew on board here, mate. I might kick us off if that's all right, Tristo.
Yeah, of course.
For me, my top that moment actually came Sunday afternoon. Mr. Cherry and I sort of ventured up to the studio here to make good on our bet that we had with yourself for Game 3 of Origin, and the loser had to do a shoey. Now, obviously, it wasn't the greatest thing. I still got the taste of tinea on my tongue. But, we are a man of our words here at the podcast, well, at least most of us are. Now, the man to my right was did the fan and couldn't get hold of him. He did mention earlier in the day that he was a bit hungover, but I said it would do him good. Now, I did try ringing around. I rang his phone. I rang all the local haunts. I couldn't get hold of him. I did, however, get on to his old man. And this is what he had to say.
I've had history with that kid. I know that kid very well. He was a weak-gutted dog as a kid, and he hasn't changed now. He's a weak-gutted dog person now.
That's straight from your dad's mouth.
I'll tell you one thing, he's fairly accurate too, mate.
Spot on the money. A bit of a stitch up there for you, Mr. Burt.
Yeah, I put myself on the tick. I was using my card all night. And the guru and I, we stepped in. At one point, we'd had 6 schooners in an hour.
Jesus.
So I think on the tick, I had 20 beers, and on top of that, I had a couple of cans as well. So, and I was in bed by 8:30.
That'll do it to you.
Well, I don't think we need to hear from anyone else in regards to the top that moment. I think that's going to take the crown this week, regardless of anything. But
Mate, well, that was my top sport. I was going to say not so much the attack itself, but the fact that I think that's one of his best. And I'll tell you what, Ricky Stewart has had some good ones.
he didn't miss, did he?
That was my top sport. Top that is the fact that he spoke his mind too. Not that it was good in a sense, but at the same time, I don't think we see enough of it.
We probably won't see any more because they're going to get suspended for a week at a time. So anyway, not to worry. Thanks, Tristan. We appreciate you coming on the show each and every week, mate. Head on over to topsport.com.au or download the app, create yourself an account and use the code SGM podcast when you do so. We'll chat next week, mate.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week and enjoy the aftertaste of those beers.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
See ya, bye.
See you, mate. Bye. Fantastic. So, yes, for all our listeners and viewers out there, Mr. Cherry and I did make good on our bet and completed our shoey on Sunday afternoon.
Horrible.
Now, if you do want to see the footage, stay tuned, or if you do listen to the show, head on over to YouTube because it is going to be part of this episode. So, if you do enjoy a laugh, make sure you check it out. Mr. Burton, we welcome you to the show. How are you, mate?
Yeah, thanks, boys. Good. I was running a little bit behind, but, you know, the rules were we kick off at 5, but apparently not. Make your own rules, eh?
Prison rules.
Prison rules. Nah, good, boys. How you going?
Good, mate.
Good. Hump day's over.
Yeah,
Exactly right, mate,
On
on
the
the-
downward run.
Absolutely.
Now, we did do our top that moment. Obviously, it was a bit one-sided, but we'll leave it at that. But any send-offs, boys? Any of our send-offs this week?
Mine was.
He has been sent off.
It's not really a bad thing, just a little bit disappointing. Was Matty Johns not getting the old fist up the back of the cow? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah,
the insemination.
Yeah.
He was. I think he was
Dry
heaving.
heaving.
He was heaving for about half an hour. By the looks of it.
That was funny.
Oh,
Imagine he would have
quality.
He would have to dry his throat after that. Mate, the old soothers would have got hiding.
We should do some challenges like that, boys. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, that'd be right.
What do you reckon? Bit of laughter for the punters out there.
Yeah, for them.
We'll have to think of something. End of year, maybe round 25 or round 27 we'll do it in round 27.
Yeah. You're doing it on your own.
What about yourself, mate?
I don't think I really have a send-off, to be honest. I'll probably send myself off for having faith in the Raiders, I think. I just thought they were, you know.
Yeah,
you weren't alone.
I was fairly confident, but at the same time, I tell you what, but it probably in myself for not being able to handle it like I used to. I can't believe I was in bed at 8:30. So, and woke up with $52 worth of Domino's charged in my card, and just a
I think you meant like tiles in for a minute.
no. And I didn't even order pizza. Well, it was just wings. $52 worth of chicken wings and delivery fee.
Steggles will be rubbing their hands together.
Oh, mate, yeah. Woke up in the morning, only half of them were eaten too. Didn't put them in the fridge. Had to throw them out.
Sorry. Listen, I'm pretty good too. I don't think I got anything. I'm a bit like you boys with the sticky thing. It's kind of a top that moment, but also a bit of a send off as well. It's obviously created a bit of a talking point and going to sort of fuel our show for a bit. But I didn't have too much. Give him a week and be done with it. Honestly, to be honest, I think the whole week was probably too much. But then again, you can't just really give him the game because we've seen that with other coaches that have, with COVID, they're still remotely coach and all that kind of stuff. But I'm happy with the punishment. It probably shouldn't have been said in that forum. We're not going to talk too much about it, but that's sort of my thought. If he's got an issue with him, you say it to him face to face as opposed to sort of broadcasting. That's how I would work personally. Although I do plan on using this platform to sort of fucking shout out anyone I don't like. But anyway,
I do it all the time. Ricky used to be one of them, but I tell you, I'm starting to warm. No,
starting to warm to him.
The issue is, if it wasn't such a directive attack, it probably wouldn't be. What'd you say? As explosive as it has been, if that makes sense. But at the same time, mate, if he did lash out on purpose intentionally to hit him in the wheels, then I think it deserves it. But at the same time, you can't go around calling people a dog. I tell you what, if you call some people a dog, mate, you'll be looking at the roof. Someone will put you on your back real quick. So,
I've actually got another one I just remembered. I was watching the Parramatta game. Got into the second half there. I was quite enjoying it. I was waiting for the Parramatta comeback. And that knock-on call against Ryan Madison,
over the line.
Oh, yeah.
I literally turned the TV over when that happened. I was like, this is a joke. It just ruined the whole game for me.
Yeah,
I checked the scores later on, but
slowing it down to the nth degree. Just find a reason not to give the try. And yeah, I don't know. I was watching on Channel 9, and I agree with Joey. Played in full speed, looks like a try. It's a try.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like little things like that. But anyway, not current. But yeah, I agree. Good call.
Did you boys watch any KO over the weekend?
I did, yes.
You noticed it was seemed to be a little bit glitchy.
Mine kept crashing.
Yeah, right. So it wasn't just mine.
Yeah,
Oh, very good.
Mine was crashing, so it'd just go black screen, and then it'd go back to the home menu. Then I'd have to click on the game again, enlarge the screen, and it'd crash again. It crashed probably 3-4 times every game that I watched.
Yeah, listeners, if your KO is playing up, it's not just yours like I thought. So
no, mine was playing up too.
Yeah, right. So I hope they get it fixed for this weekend.
You sign a petition if they don't. Marching down the street like fucking Roy Piggins and South.
I'll make a stand. You know where the regional Australia Bank is, that roundabout on the corner? I'll stand there in the nude with a
What happens on a frosty morning?
I'll just get them to honk.
Boys, enough of that chit chat. Let's jump into beer of the week. Thanks to our one of our sponsors, the Whitebull Hotel, great sponsors of the show each and every week. Provide the boys with a beer or two to sample and to rate. What has Mr. Hawkins given you this week, boys?
The Pirate Life. Pirate Life Brewing California Pale Ale.
Oh, pale ale. Now, we've had a Pirate Life before, but when he asked me if we had this one, I don't think it was. The can doesn't look familiar to me.
I haven't had this one.
The one we had before was purple.
Was it a Pacific Ale or something? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, how's it going? All right.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh, this one. Personally.
This is my honest review. I'm going to leave it short and sharp. Because it's a can, it's half star. That is shit. That is fucking horrible.
Oh, Jesus. But I'm sure there's a market for that. And if you do like that, get on down to the Whitebull and get yourself a 4-pack.
And if you don't like it, just go through there anyway and get something, a 4-pack of something else.
Exactly.
1.6 standards, 355 mil, 1 star.
Yeah, horrible.
I just can't get it down.
Maybe if you put it in a shoe, it might taste a bit better.
It'll be better than that fucking 4S Gold, I'll tell you.
No, I'll drink gold over that.
I just don't know what it is with this. This is it's just strange. It's
That is so hoppy, bro. That is so fruity.
Well, that's the thing here at the Same Game Multi Podcast. We're not afraid to give you our true, honest opinion, even if it might cost us a sponsorship.
Hey, just call us the Rickies of
But honestly, head on down if you are in the local Armada area to the Whitebull Hotel. Use the drive-through bottle shop facilities that they do have. Don't need to get out of your car if it's cold, if it's raining. You just throw the hand out and away you go. And also some great meals in the bistro, and got the gaming room as well as a tab there as well. So great facilities there. So head on down to the Whitebull and support a local company that supports a great show like ours. Anything else, boys, or we take a little break and then come back and review some footy?
Yeah, break it up.
Stay tuned because this ad break is going to be something different, so you're going to want to watch it. There it is. All right, Tristo. We're good on our word, mate. Us here at the Same Game Multi Podcast are men of our word. Well, at least 2 of us are anyway. As you'll know, one's missing. Who might that be, Mr. Cherry?
Oh, I don't know. Parramatta had a pretty good win the other night, so maybe Birdo's had some big celebrations and might be having to sleep in a gutter somewhere, I think.
Half his luck, I'll tell you what, it's going to be better than what we're just about to do. Our shoey, due to our bet to a State of Origin Game 3. Unfortunately, New South Wales weren't able to get the win up there. And we're going to make good on our bet right now. So, can of CC and a 4X goal for Mr. Cherry.
Let me take my boot off here.
This is going to be horrible. Let's go. Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. Gold's even worse out of a shoe.
Look out, game 1 next year, Tristo, because we're going to think of something horrible for you. Good on you, buddy. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. If you were listening, make sure you head on over to the YouTube and check out the ad. It's probably going to be the one ad that you do want to watch. If you do want to watch any ad, don't skip it like you can on YouTube. Boys, let's talk some footy. Thursday night, great game here. Panthers up against the Storm. We did touch on it with Tristo before. As he mentioned, a few stars not going to be there, but still should be a good game, I think. Thursday, 7:50 p.m. out there at Penrith Stadium. Head-to-head, $1.57 for the Panthers. They're the favourites there. $2.45 for the Storm. The line's set at 4.5 there as well. Thoughts on the game, boys, because there are a few stars missing from both sides now. What do you think the quality is going to be? And who are you picking for the win?
The one thing I like about this game is the fact that there are players missing, which then gives opportunities for players who don't necessarily play in that role, however, could be a valuable asset in the last, this upcoming couple of rounds. And it'll be good for them to test, put their toes in the water and get amongst it. But gee, I tell you what, if it wasn't at home, I'd near tip Melbourne, but I'll go Penrith only because they're at home.
Yeah, Penrith were pretty good last week. I think a majority of people were sort of picking Canberra to sort of knock them off down there, to keep their finals race alive, all that kind of stuff. But they just rolled through them. Beat them by 20 points, and they won it with their defence. So that's why I think they'll probably do the same here. Melbourne are struggling, as we know, with outside backs, although Xavier Coates comes back in again this week, Nofaluma, and Nick Meaney's also back to the fullback, which will put Cameron Munster back to the 5'8". But how good was he at fullback last week?
It was good.
3 tries.
Considering, I don't know if he's played, I'm not 100% sure on Munster's background now I think of it, but
he's played there previously. And he filled in for Billy Slater for half a year, but he hasn't played there for quite a few years now.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one. I'm going to go with Panthers, I think, only because the recent form of the Storm, or lack of, there to speak, they've cost me a lot in the tips over the last 7 weeks or something, whatever it's been, with a few wayward games, I guess you could call them. Penrith are just so strong, even without those... Without the big boys there, the Golden Child and my mate there, and Luai. I think Panthers here, and I think they might do them by about a good dozen, I reckon. 12, what's that market you can get on there?
1 to 12?
1 to 10 plus?
No, there was another one I'd seen somewhere. I'll have a look at it and find out what it was. Might have been a line bet I was looking at. I reckon they'll do them by at least 12 in this one.
Okay. Kick out, as we mentioned before, is on the extended bench. Would you risk him?
No.
This isn't a must-win game for them. Obviously they want to probably assert some dominance over the Storm, leading into the finals race, but they don't have to win this. I'd be leaving him personally, but anyway.
I think, worst case scenario, if they did lose, it'd be a slight wake-up call for them for the finals. And it's always good to lose a game before the finals too, when you've been running hot for so long.
Yeah.
So...
your multi, I believe.
Yeah, mate, my multi, boys. I'm going to go Nick Meaney, anytime try scorer. I think he's in terrific form. And the way that what would you say, the structure that Melbourne play, fullbacks are always a chance. Nick Meaney, anytime try scorer. Total points are going to be over 40.5. And I'm going to go Penrith to win 1 to 12. That's $19.34.
Nice.
So a little bit of sauce on that one, boys. But I just think Nick Meaney's almost a special. Just that structure that they play. Fullback, and they've played that same structure for many, many years. I think Nick Meaney's almost a shoe-in, I reckon.
What were the odds? $19.34?
$19.34.
34. Yeah, good price. Nearly double.
Almost doubled it up, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, let's move along to the next game of the round. Warriors up against the Bulldogs Friday, 6 p.m. at Mount Smart Stadium. Bulldogs make the trip over there. I think they didn't get into like 3 a.m. or something yesterday morning, so they've had a bit of a hectic trip to get over there. But they still are the favourites here. The Warriors outsiders, $2.40. The Bulldogs are $1.58 if you like them there. The line is set at 4 flat. Warriors $1.80 at the plus, and Bulldogs $2 at the minus. Bulldogs been playing some good footy last month, 6 weeks. Warriors, not so much. I'll tell you what though, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, he ruined my South multi last week. AJ had him 2 or more, and he chased AJ down and took him into touch just as he planted the ball. He was the only try scorer I needed, so I'm a bit off Dallin at the moment, but anyway.
These things happen. Just don't do a Ricky on him, I suppose.
Thoughts, boys?
Kyle Flanagan in there at number 7 too. Be good to see him having a good run again. linking up with Burton. I think if they got their squad and stuff back, I wouldn't mind seeing Burton, especially next year, slide into that centre position. Be really good to see, I think. Anyway,
I think they're paying him too much for him to play in the centres. I think that's his issue. I think I've heard a lot of rumours around Kalen Ponga, for example, paying him way too much to be playing where he is. They're probably going to move him into the halves, especially with his head knock issues and stuff like that. I sort of think that Matt Burton, at the same time, personally, I think he's a better centre than he is a half. But at the same time, what he's doing for the Dogs at the moment, mate, it's nothing less than terrific.
Oh yeah, definitely. For me, it'd be interesting to see him play centres in there for a while.
Just get him into the centres and give him a licence.
Get him a little bit closer to Fox as well.
Yeah.
I can't see the Warriors coming back on this game. I think the Bulldogs have got a nice little bit of form into them, even though the points haven't reflected against that. But you're right, Clint, they have been playing some good footy and they have been enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to lean to the Dogs for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Dogs too. I think the Warriors are checked out, although being at home in front of hopefully they get a big crowd there. They might find something, but I'm going the Dogs too. Your multi?
Yeah, my multi again, boys. I'm going to go the Doggies head to head. I'm going to get them to cover the line at -4, and Jacob Carraz to score 2 or more tries, $8.13.
Poor fella, so doesn't have his photo. I just seen there.
Yeah, he's still the blank.
Even after his hat trick, you think they would have made the effort to get his picture on there?
Right. So he's playing good. So hat trick, and he gets. I think he's averaging a try assist a game. Yeah. I think he is. So he's playing good football for a bloke that came from the mist.
Yeah, definitely.
Bloke who walked out of the fog. So,
and I think he might feature in the Gurus multi coming up too, if I do remember correctly. So keep an ear out for that coming up a bit later on. Eels up against South Friday, 7:55 p.m. at CommBank Stadium. This should be a good game. I can't believe the market here. I've got it here. I did it this morning. Eels are $2.50 outsiders and Souths are $1.53 favourites. I know we did touch with Tristan before and it might just be slightly different to what he updated us. The line set at 4.5 here with the Eels being plus at $1.95 and Souths at the minus for $1.85. And I know last week they were outsiders against Manly and had a good solid win against them. Obviously, it's very close for the first 60 minutes they ran away with in the last 20. How do you take that market?
I think just quickly. I think last week they were about a 10-cent difference. I think through Top Sport.
I think it kicked off at $2 for them, $1.80 Manly. I think when it kicked off,
yeah,
so about 20 cents.
And then I think when Moses was out, it moved a fair chunk. I think it moved like 40 cents.
Oh, sorry. This was when they kicked off. So, yeah, it fluctuated before that. Yeah.
So there was a bit of movement there. But through my eyes, I thought Para should have still been favourites. But anyway.
Yeah, tricky one. I'm glad it's not me making the choice on margins, etc. I thought Parramatta were good last week. I thought they stayed in the grind. The forwards, Parramatta had a lot more impact off the bench. Whereas rather than playing players for minimal minutes, everyone's starting to make a little bit of an impact off the bench. Having said that too, at the same time, damn, Souths were good last week. I tell you one thing, a player who was absolutely mind-blowing excellent last week was Cameron Murray.
Yeah.
Damn, he was good.
Great first half.
Damn, he was good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you talk about a bloke who try assists in that sense, Clint Gutherson, he had 3 try assists in the first half. So, I don't know. I think it's a must-win for both sides. Having said that, regardless of who wins or who doesn't win, I don't think any of those sides are going to make the 4. So if you want to use that as momentum and motivation to get up this weekend, that's all good and well, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, but both sides were good last week, and to be honest, you got to look at the quality of opposition. I think South played the Warriors, and Parramatta played Manly. I think Parramatta will probably perform better because they're up against stronger competition. That makes sense. Yeah. So I think they probably played better.
Manly were really sticking it to them, weren't they?
Yeah,
they had that really fast
65 minutes
line speed.
Yeah, their defensive line was crazy for Manly. They were swamping them and putting them under heaps of pressure. And
that's why
unfortunately I turned over too early and missed out on the comeback tries from Parramatta. But
anyway, not to worry. We'll wait and see what happens on the night. I actually lean towards Parramatta, but they are my bogey team, so I will be sending messages to Mr. Burton if they go down. Don't you worry about that.
Just the usual. It's one of those things, mate. bagging someone else's sides like smacking someone else's kid. It's all right if you do it, but when someone else does it, it raises eyebrows.
out.
Boys, I'm not going to go near a margin, aside, anything like that. So, boys, I'm going to go 3 try scorers. Mike Acevo, anytime try scorer. AJ, Alex Johnson, anytime try scorer. And brother Trell Mitt, anytime try scorer. $6.46.
I'm going to take Parramatta 1-12 in this one.
I reckon you'll get a nice price for that. The only issue is I'm not going to say that. I was going to say South home ground, home advantage. The problem is they only get about 6,000 people to their games anyway. So
Is that Combank?
oh, is it Combank?
Yeah, it's
is
that
it?
Combank. Yeah, so Parramatta. That's why again couldn't believe the odds for it.
Well, there you go. I totally misread that. Mike Acevo, anytime try scorer.
Yeah, left-hand corner
Loves
for
it.
sure. Moving on to Super Saturday, boys. Roosters up against the Cowboys. Should be a cracking game. Saturday, 3 p.m. at the SCG. Head-to-head, the Roosters are the favourites. Again, surprised me, $1.62. Cowboys, $2.30. Outsiders, the line is set at 3.5. $1.85 at the minus for the Roosters or $1.95 at the plus for the Cowboys. This surprised me again with Roosters starting as favourite, given how good the Cowboys have been. I know they've struggled a bit post-Origin, but they've kind of probably got over that now. Was that 3-4 weeks ago? I think they're probably starting to just make that run towards the final. Had a few weeks where they were a bit iffy. I can see this being a cracking game.
It should be. It definitely should be. Probably could even be the game of the round. Might even be better than the Thursday night game, so to speak. I'm very surprised that we're favourites, and I think we're up for a big challenge here. I'm confident, but it's one of them games where you look at it and think, geez, this could go any way.
Especially when you've got the Raiders right up your ass for a spot at 8th.
Yeah, so they got that pressure behind them of dropping out of the 8. Plus, you're playing the Cowboys who've been playing some great footy. So the weight's all on the shoulders of the Chooks and Robbo. So we'll see how they go down there.
Just before we go any further, boys, news today that Sam Verrills signed with the Titans as well for next year. So he's obviously, with Brendan Smith coming to the club, he's sort of had to make way there. So
I heard, I don't know how true it is, Brendan Smith might not be going to the Roosters.
As in staying in Melbourne?
No.
Or?
I'm trying to remember where it was.
Rah.
No. I think I could be wrong. I can't remember where I read it. It was either the Dolphins. I don't think it was the Titans. It was North anyway.
It won't be the Titans. Bloody poor Sam Verrills have to come back to the Roosters.
It was. I think it was talk about the Dolphins, and he wasn't going to go to the Chooks. I don't know whether that is a move from Robbo after what happened with the referee incident. I don't know whether that's had something to play with it.
Yeah,
I don't know. And this is just a rumor at this stage. It's just people have heard there's been talks. So we'll see. So if we don't get him and we lose Verrills, up shit creek.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll happen. I think he'll be there next year, to be honest. But your thoughts? Who are you picking?
Gee, I don't know. I don't want the market to influence my decision, but geez, I tell you what, it's making it tricky. Do they know something that we don't?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm just looking through the team list there for the Cowboys, and I can't see anything glaring that sort of indicates why they should be such outsiders. They look fairly full strength. Cotter comes back to the starting side. Jordan McLean returns via the bench. Their 1 through the 13 is pretty much what they've been putting out all year, except for Kyle Felt, who the hammer comes in for.
Yeah, which is I tell you what, that's a damn handy replacement.
So I just don't understand, but maybe they do know something that we don't. But anyway,
could just be the home ground and that weather factor, which I thought I was going to pick last week when the Cows played the Dogs, and the Dogs came out strong in that cold air down there. I thought I might have jagged a prediction for once, but that got crushed very, very quickly. But that may have something to do with it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
With playing down there instead of
tricky
North.
one. I'm going to go Cowboys.
I'm going to go Cowboys too.
I'm going the Chooks.
You're Mouldy. Hit us.
I'll go on the Chooks, but I can't take them in the multi just to be safe. So I've gone for the game to be over 46.5 total points. I think there'll be lots of tries. I got one any-timer from Joseph Suwali and another any-timer, Murray Tulagi, and that's paying a whopping $5.22.
Yeah, it's not too bad though. It's not too bad for 3 legs. And both do like to get across the lines.
Yeah.
Both wingers. Boys, Tigers v Sharks, Saturday 5:30 p.m. at Scully Park in Tamworth, which is just down the road from where we record. I won't be going, unfortunately, but it is great that they're bringing the games to those regional areas. I think it was Bundaberg last week. One of the teams took a game there, and Tamworth this week, which is fantastic. Tigers definitely outsiders here, $4.60. Head-to-head, the Sharks are $1.20. The line is set at 13.5. $1.90 each there. It's Tigers at the plus and the Sharks at the minus. Boys, won't touch too much on this, but thoughts on the game and good that they're taking it to regional areas?
Yeah, it's good to see them coming out to regional areas, particularly when they're trying to push for that suburban grounds more so now than once upon a time playing in the big stadiums. I know it'll be a full house down there, and in my eyes, I think the return of Dale Finuke and that dude are going to be hungry. Boys, I'm going to tip Cronulla. Again, I said it last week and a couple of games a week before. I think you pick it by how much.
Yeah, I think so too. The Tigers were good for a few weeks there in a row. They dipped last week, and I think that might be their season gone too, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there can't be too much premier games in the bush, so to speak. There should be more of them. Creates interest, especially for the junior sides, the school kids. Helps boost up team numbers and stuff for the local comps. And without juniors, you don't have first grade players. So, I think Sharks going to run away with this pretty easy. Now, the trouble I had with the multi was I wasn't game enough to put a margin bet on for the Sharks, just in case the Tigers did have one of their freaky games, but the head-to-head was too short to use. So, once again, I've gone an over, total points of 43.5. I got on the Sharks by 13. I just remembered I did put that in. So I've got Sharks. I am good.
I've got it on my screen here. I'm thinking you're pretty sure you did do a margin, but I'll just let you go. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, this one took me a while to decide. I was in two minds. So Sharks by 13 plus, sorry. The first half to be over 21.5 points. The suit man, Ronaldo Molitalo, anytimer, and Jesse Ramian as well, anytime try scorer, $7.28.
So 5 legs there, total over 43.5, Sharks 13 plus, over 21.5 first half points, Mulatalo and Ramian, anytime try scorers, correct?
Yeah.
$7.28, not bad. Last game, Super Saturday, boys. Broncos up against the Knights. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. up there at Suncorp Stadium. Almost unbackable here. $1.10 for the Broncos, $7 for the Knights, who did get the win last week. 18.5 is the line. And we've got that at $1.90 each minus of the Broncos plus for the Knights, boys. Knights just held on last week in that scrappy game. I did watch it, but it was kind of like watching a train or a car crash. You didn't want to watch, but you just couldn't look away, especially when you got that back end. But and Broncos, boys, have just dipped a little bit as well. No Carrigan again, obviously, for a few weeks. Thoughts?
Newcastle are horrible.
I thought you were tipping them. I thought you were just going to say Newcastle and do a mic drop.
I think the market speaks for itself, and that's my tip. I'm going to go to Broncos again. I think it'll be by how much. It's funny. I actually heard. I can't remember. I think it was on Matty Johns' radio channel last week or the week before. They spoke about talking to players, etc. And Kalen Ponga said they don't know what style of football they're playing. So they don't know if they're going to play defence-orientated, balanced-orientated, or an attack-orientated structure. And you're at, round 21, 22 of the season. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Mate, that is an absolute shamble down there. In my eyes, Broncos by 100.
Just looking here, boys, Tamari Martin comes in at fullback too with Tessie New out. So I actually really like that because I think he won like 16 games or 15 games or something where he didn't lose or something like crazy like that. So I really like him back in there. He obviously has signed with the Warriors for next season, but I kind of like him at the back there. What else we got here, boys? He's Brenko Lee replaces someone. And Walters is starting hooker with Turpin benched. What about Turpin last week with Radley in that head clash they had? And Radley just cut open like a candle.
That was flowing out, wasn't it?
Oh. Yeah, but it was a big, stringy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when
Claret.
That's when you know it's deep.
You're mouldy, mate.
I won't go
That's
there.
what she said.
Now this game to me,
for me,
this game to me just spells a flogging. I think Brisbane will be ones holding the bats in this. They're going to come out and monster them after last week. Knights are in terrible form, as we've said. So I have gone Broncos 13 plus. Selwyn Cobbo, Corey Oates, Ezra Mam, all anytime try scorers for the Broncos. And to get a little bit of value in there, I slotted Dom Young for the Knights in, try and sneak across. He hasn't been playing too bad, considering the way the side's been going. And that's paying $20.95.
Yeah, old Dom Young, he's a good athlete.
Ezra Mam gets over too, don't worry.
He loves it, yeah.
He's good.
Boys, Sunday, 2 p.m, GIO Stadium, Raiders up against the Dragons. This would have been a great game if it was last week when their top 8 hopes were probably still alive a little bit more than what it is at the moment. But nonetheless, Raiders $1.45 favourites here. Dragons $2.75 outsiders. 5.5 is the line. Get the Raiders at the minus for $1.80 or the Dragons at the plus for $2. Obviously, no Sticky for the week, going to be coaching. I don't think that'll have too much of an impact. Obviously, like you said, we're 22 weeks in. They're not Newcastle. They know how they're going to play. They've got some pretty good coaches down there, Brett White and a few others as well. So I don't think it'll have too much of an impact. But what I do think will have an impact for Canberra, though, is no Joseph Tarpanay, who's out with a rib injury that he picked up last week. I think that's a bigger out than Ricky, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Corey Horsburgh, when he came in when the boys were on rep duty, mate, he played terrific. The only problem is he's coming off pneumonia.
Oh, true.
That's why he hasn't been there the last 2 weeks. So he might be still a little bit crook. Hopefully not. So hopefully he's got, the fuel tanks fillable. But also too, Horawira Nara. Gee, I'll tell you what, if I was in charge down there, I'd nearly be starting him.
You can play.
He's playing really good football. So
put some good hits on. Who did he hit last week? Dylan Edwards hit him a couple of times.
Mate,
he's tough, bud, isn't he?
Come out of line, got him. So boys, I'm gonna go Canberra.
Yeah, I'm going to go Canberra too. I think the week that they've had's probably going to galvanise them. They're going to come out and play for Sticky. And I think the Dragons, their season's done, so we might see them sort of dip towards the back end in these last few rounds, to be honest, as well.
Do you think anyone's going to be game to kick anyone in the lunchbox or
what? Quick thoughts, Ches?
Raiders should win this.
Yeah.
They should do. They got the side. They got the players. Dragons, if it was earlier in the year, I'd say this should be a close game. This late in the year, no. Raiders have got this one.
My multi-boys, I've gone 3 anytime try scores. I've gone Seb Chris, Hudson Young, great player, like him, gets across the line as well, and Benny Hunt, probably about the only Dragon that I could see getting across the line there. 33.52, so a bit of value there just for 3 try scorers. So I do like that bet.
Just quickly, I forgot to mention something when we're talking about the Sharks. Now, I read that Fitzy, the captain sensational Craig Fitzgibbon, does an hour and a half of jiu-jitsu training before each game, and that makes him feel like he's worthy enough to go and talk to the players about stepping up and talking and
I heard that too.
Playing proper footy.
That bloke needs to get off the drink. Fair dinkum. Mate, he doesn't have anything to prove, but that's what I don't understand. He needs to get off the drink. That bloke, what's he won? 3 comps?
I wonder if it puts him into like a sort of like a
Mind frame.
like a mindset from back when he was playing.
Yeah.
And then that,
get himself into that
reminisces about what it was like, and then can put his thoughts through back to the team in the sheds. But
I haven't done jiu-jitsu for quite a few years, but I can tell you, an hour and a half, you'd be fucked.
But I don't understand why he does it. He was wrestling blokes for, 12, 14 years. He doesn't have to prove it. He's won comps. He's played Origin. He's played for his country.
Yeah.
He might win a comp as a coach this year too.
To lower himself. Maybe I should start wrestling people before my juniors play on a Saturday morning. That might get the boys up.
Sunday, 4 p.m, boys, rounding out the round 22. Titans up against Manly, Seabus Super Stadium up there at the Gold Coast. $2.70 if you do like the Titans, $1.47 for the Sea Eagles. The line is set at 6.5. Titans at the plus for $1.80, or you can get Manly at the minus for $2 here. Manly were good last week against Parramatta, and the Titans actually showed a bit of fight up against the Storm, which I was quite surprised about. I don't know whether that sort of says too much about the Titans or maybe more so about the Storm where they're at the moment. I'm not too sure there. Thoughts, boys?
I just hope that the Titans aren't sort of going, wash their hands with it, saying, right, boys, well, season's gone, might as well just, how do you say, just get out there and flow.
Chuck the ball around.
Yeah, just chuck the ball around, have a bit of fun, and if we win, we win. And hopefully they're not playing that, because I'll tell you what, you should be playing that enjoyment football from round 1. Having said that, I thought they played all right last week, but I can't go past Manly, because Manly played pretty good against Parra, so Manly's got my tip.
Yeah, my head goes with Manly.
Settle down, mate. You don't want to be sued.
I'm going to start going first from now on, I think. It's hard trying to roll off your little comments at the end.
They've got my tip, and then you want to go hard, and then you're up me. You want to go first as well.
So we're running out of tape here. We got to keep going.
My head says Manly, but I'd really like to see the Titans win this. But I just can't see it happening. So I'm going to go with Manly. unfortunately, for this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm going Manly head-to-head. Manly to cover the line at 6.5, minus 6.5 that is. Kohler to get across and Olakawatu also to get across for $8.57. Just a tick under that nice $10 mark that I do like to get to. One last thing, boys, before we wrap up, and that's the Guru's bet. Again, he got up last week. If you do follow the show and you're on the bets, Guru did get back in the winner's circle, which he was very excited about. He's gone a little bit more extravagant this week and put a few extra dollars on top. So he's gone Panthers head-to-head. Cowboys plus 14.5, the alternate handicap. So you've got to go searching for that. Carraz, anytime try scorer. And Stags, the toe man, anytime try scorer as well for $8.94. So Panthers head-to-head, Cowboys plus 14.5 at the alternate handicap. Go searching for that one. Carraz and Stags, both anytime try scorers, $8.94.
I see he hasn't trucked the Roosters in. He's gone against them this week.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on here?
Hey,
Rug might have tailed him up in the car park on the weekend. I don't know.
I tell you what, the state that we left the pub on Saturday night, if anything would have been possible.
Well, that's round 22 wrapped up. Anything else, lads, before we go? Any shout-outs you got to give to anyone you've come across?
Not that I can remember of.
Thanks for all the comments and thumbs up and subscribing to all our socials. We do appreciate that, so keep it coming. And like I said, we'll give you a shout-out on the show each and every week. But until next week, enjoy the football over the weekend. If you do have a punt, please do so responsibly. And as always, don't eat your soup with a fork. We'll catch you next week.